guys, 805 here, and today we'll be playing Batman Arkham City, but I'll be reviewing the game because it's a very chill game and I feel like reviewing it. So, as I said, I am going to be reviewing Batman Arkham City, which is a Batman game that was made originally in 2011 by Rocksteady Studios. There's plenty to talk about because this game was a masterpiece. But it was a masterpiece and it was near perfect, but it had its flaws. We'll talk about those later. But first we're going to talk about what the game did right, starting with the story. So the story continues right after the events of Batman Arkham Asylum. So the big thing is that when it comes to what a good story involves being able to actually know what you're writing. And of course it being written by Paul Dini, the person who wrote Batman the Animated Series and a lot of other Batman novels and stuff. He knows what he's doing. And it continued on from Arkham City. I think it's like a few months after Arkham City. Either a few months or a year or so. But basically it starts off with Batman or Bruce Wayne protesting against the Arkham City, as it's basically just a huge prison city in the middle of Gotham. And basically, he gets Hugo Strange, the main big bad of the game, basically gets him trapped in Arkham City. And Batman is talented enough to, and is able to complete what he needs to. But he runs into some obstacles, trying to find out what this Protocol 10 is, and a lot of other things that are unnecessary, which I've spoiled a lot. But he'll run into many people like the Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, and Mr. Freeze, and Ra's al Ghul, and a few others. But the story for the most part is the basic, like, he's trapped in Arkham and he's trying to stop this stuff. And a lot of I'm trying to keep spoilers down to a minimum because while the game's been out since 2011, I don't want to spoil it for people because there are still people who have yet to play the game, which if you haven't, you should try it because it's a really chill game. So a huge thing about this basically, so we're going to skip past the story because I'm trying to not spoil that much, so we're not going to talk about it too much. The next thing I want to talk about is the gameplay. So the gameplay is improved upon from Arkham Asylum, which is what a sequel should do. When a game is released before it, and the game that is the sequel is made, it should improve upon the game's previous systems so that but still, now the gameplay is basically what people have considered like the masterful form of combat, which is the free flow system that was kind of, and it's kind of a thing that now when a new game is made and it's a superhero game, a lot of people assume the combat will be similar to Batman Arkham. Now the gadgets are more or less the same as previous games, however you earn them differently and you take a longer time to earn the gadgets. You don't just earn them because you earn them. for DLCs wise, this game has got pretty good DLCs. It has good DLC maps, skins, and cool things. One of the DLC maps or skins being the animated series Bat skin, which, so for the game's other DLC that isn't challenge maps or skins is the Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC, which takes place, I think, about a few weeks after after Arkham City, and of course, it's spoilers for the main game, so I'm trying not to spoil it. So I said the game did some things that could have been better. And I was right. There are some things that could have been better. The map could have been bigger, but for what technology there was at the time, it's alright. The story is more or less a predictable roller coaster ride. And a lot of things just really, like, the game didn't take full advantage of all the resources that they had at their disposal. And the game could have implemented better gadgets that are a bit more unique than things like the batarangs and the generic things that people think when they think Batman, like the batarangs, the grappling hook, and other things. Of course, this game did good on the side quest part. So this game released on 3 different consoles at launch, which was the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii U, which was the Armored Edition. And it was also released on the PC. But it was given a remaster in 2016 that was part of the Return to Arkham collection, which was released on the Xbox One, PS4, and PC, respectively. And the game uses full resources of all the consoles, especially with the Return to Arkham, when it comes to the technology they use. And so, it's not quite like they didn't use what they could have. And if I'm not mistaken, this was also the last Arkham game that was written by Paul Dini. But the game had a good story, good gameplay, no microtransactions, that's always a plus, and was very impressive for the time, and is still a masterpiece to this day. Now, kind of going back into the story, just because. So, a lot of things that people don't ever think about when thinking about the Arkham games is their Easter eggs. This game has plenty of them, like the Scarecrow Easter egg on the boat, and a few other things. And a lot of the side quests are also pretty cool, like when you work with Bane, so and so so first you can use your gadgets to, and of course a lot of people try to implement using gadgets into their combat. The upgrade skill tree is another big thing that makes this game fantastic. And so, it's definitely a plus in that department. But doesn't hold up for a few reasons. Majorly, the big thing that a lot of people when playing this game think about trying to focus on upgrading is the ballistic armor and the combat armor. Once you max that out, literally the game becomes a whole bit easier. Now, this game is not easy by any means. This game is a challenge, and it's made to be that way. It's not made to be some easy game. And the fun about this game is the exploration of what you can do. Like, you can stop thugs, you can save political prisoners, and other things. So, it's definitely interesting to see all the things you can do. So the side quest is... Now the big thing about this game was the big trope that, like, you could play as Catwoman for parts of the game, if of course you had the DLC. Other DLCs featured the ability to play as Robin and Nightwing, respectively. So, that's part of where a lot of the DLCs went, was for map. And the map DLCs, which included things... And the game continues on, like, a lot of things that were kind of... But my personal rating of this game is a 10 out of 10. Of course, like it said, showed these side missions. Of course, here's all these bios and things that you would have in an Arkham game. Because, why wouldn't you? So you have, like I said, Catwoman upgrades, the Predator upgrades, which you actually don't earn like you do things like in certain like combat upgrades are, and like gadget upgrades are unlocked through like actually playing the game. And you have to work for them, which I feel is good. Environmental analysis is definitely a really helpful one to get. And another really good. So keep in mind, all these abilities are indeed. And the good thing about this game is that you can choose to play the game however you want. Do you want to just always charge in, or do you want to, like, or do you want to be the stealthy Dark Knight? And in this game, his detective skills are definitely on par. He does a lot of detective things that, like one side mission, he's like following a trace of chlorine and bleach, trying to someone. And so, the game definitely like shows the best aspects of Batman, which is his detective, combat, and predator skills. So, that's why Batman Arkham City was such a good game. Hope you all enjoyed. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.